Hello, I'm Gardener Ben and welcome along to the North Lodge Cottage Garden. We're filming outside today, so please excuse us if we have a little bit of road noise, but I thought it was really important that we showed you these beauties in the vase in front of me in all of their natural glory outside in natural sunlight. This is my collection of David Austin roses which are best for cutting and bringing into the house and putting into a vase. Each one of these roses has a full individual personal review from myself, so if there's something that really catches your eye, please do go through Instagram or YouTube and find the review that's correct for you. I get asked the question an awful lot, which roses are best for bringing into the house and how much time would I expect them to last in a vase. Now this is very difficult and it does depend on many different circumstances. Most importantly, the time of day on which you cut your blooms. Try and cut them very early in the morning, just as the sun rises. That means you need to get up and out into your cutting garden before the heat of the day starts. Get outside and make sure when you cut your blooms, you're cutting them straight from the plant and putting them straight into water. Don't put them into a trug or hold them in your hand if possible. Cut them straight from the plant and put them into the water in a cool part of the day. Now you can also do this in the evening, but obviously the plant has gone through quite a lot of stress if the sun is up and it's been particularly warm. So cutting flowers is always best done right at the very beginning of the day. It does depend also how long the plants will last in a vase, depending on where you put them in the house. Try wherever possible to keep them out of direct sunlight, and you should ensure at least 2 or 3 days in a vase with any of the blooms that are in front of me. However, there is one here that's not going to last that quite so long, and one I don't have a bloom to show you. So let's kick off the list and talk to you about the lovely Emily Brontë. Emily Brontë is having a little bit of a break in the garden right now, but produces beautiful, large, very soft pink flowers with a really lovely fragrance. It has lovely strong stems which makes it ideal for cutting, and in trials here at North Lodge I've managed to get it to last up to 5 days in a vase, which is incredibly good. So Emily Brontë makes the list, but unfortunately I don't have a bloom to show you, but please do go through the media and find the review of that particular rose if you're interested in that one. Right, let's go through a few of the ones that are in front of me. First up, a real big high-hitting rose. This one is Jubilee Celebration and makes the best for cutting list simply on the size of its blooms and the perfume it produces. It's not going to last all that long in a vase, but as it ages in several days, it's going to go through this beautiful antiquing look, which is absolutely stunning. This rose, as it fades and as the petal falls, is absolutely beautiful. So do bring this into the house and cut it individually. Maybe pop it onto a dressing table or by the phone, somewhere you're going to really enjoy it up close and personal. But the first one on the list that I have to show you is Jubilee Celebration. Another new kid on the block for 2022 and making it high into my top recommended David Austin roses. This one is perfect for cutting. This is the lovely Gabriel Oak. The only thing you need to bear in mind with Gabriel Oak is it is laced with hundreds of very small barbs. They are very easy to take off, so simply run your scissors or your secateurs up and down the stems once you've got them into a cool position in the house and you've actually cut them. Just run your secateurs or scissors up and down the stems to remove those barbs, just to make it a little bit safer to handle. But onto the list for best for cutting and bringing into the house is Gabriel Oak. This beautiful lady is Claire Austin. Now, Claire Austin makes the list not because she's going to last a very long time in a vase. You're only going to get a day and a half to maybe 2 days out of each bloom in the house, but it produces such lovely, long, slender, thornless stems that it is absolutely perfect for cutting and bringing in. So please do cut it, bring it into an arrangement if you're entertaining. Maybe you're having friends over on the patio for some evening drinks, or you're having a dinner party. Claire Austin is beautiful to handle and very well natured. Only going to last a small amount of time, but do bring her into the house and enjoy for those brief moments, mainly because the stems are so easy to work with. So this is Claire Austin. This big, bold beauty here again makes the list for best for cutting and bringing in because of the sheer size of the blooms that it produces. This is the Princess Alexandra of Kent, producing some of the largest flowers of the David Austin collections, up to 5 to 5.5 inches across. The Princess Alexandra of Kent is an absolute stunner. It also has a really wonderful fragrance too. Another one for maybe popping by your bedside table or by the phone, somewhere you're going to really enjoy it up close and personal. So this is the Princess Alexandra of Kent. This stunner is Crown Princess Margarita, a beautiful apricot rose producing huge bracts of flowers on very, very long arching stems. They're not particularly thorny, and because they are particularly long and born in very large clusters, this one had 5 flowers on it, but I've deadheaded it for this particular video. But this is Crown Princess Margarita, and because they're born in such large numbers, you have to cut relatively few stems to bring it into the house and enjoy it. Also another great one for perfume, so do cut this one and bring this into the house. Turn the vase ever so slightly, and I'm not sure who we lost. Okay, we'll touch base with that one in just a moment. The next one is the Poet's Wife, a really lovely, strong, deep yellow rose from David Austin Roses, which has the most incredible perfume. It's very, very strong. It's rich and it's very fruity. It's absolutely beautiful. And again, because it has very, very long stems, which are relatively strong, you don't have to cut particularly many blooms to bring it into the house, maybe 1 or 2 at a time to enjoy it. And it will fill a lounge, for instance, a sitting room or a dining room, absolutely full of fragrance. So this one is the Poet's Wife. Now, a second ago, disappeared off the vase, I can't go around and get it, was one of the new kids on the block for this year, reaching very, very high up into the top 10 with myself. Mill on the Floss decided it was going to jump over the edge. Another fabulous rose for cutting and bringing into the vase. It has very, very long, strong stems and produces large clusters of blooms on each stem. So again, you have to cut relatively few stems to bring it in and enjoy it. It has a wonderful perfume and it's virtually thornless. So Mill on the Floss is also another one which has disappeared off the edge. One that always gets a huge amount of attention, and I wore this as a buttonhole to Chelsea this year, and so many people came up to me and asked me if they could smell it. This one is Munstead Wood from David Austin Roses, a fabulous rose for cutting and bringing into the house. It produces very, very large, deep crimson blooms, again, which are absolutely full of fragrance, lasting around 3 to 4 days in a vase if cut at the right time of year and the right time of day. Munstead Wood is a fabulous rose, again, for bringing in. Maybe you're having guests over the weekend and you really want to show off, but Munstead Wood is an absolute fabulous rose for popping into a vase and bringing into the house. Right in the front and center here, this beautiful lady is Eustacia vase. Absolutely stunning for cutting and bringing into the house, producing enormously large true pink blooms with a really lovely orangey peachy streak to the back of them. A really beautiful one for enjoying in the house. Next to that, a very often an overlooked and forgotten about rose, but this one is the Lady Gardener. This one varies in colour hugely depending on what the summer is like, and it produces very long, as you can see, very strong upright stems, which in my opinion make it absolutely fabulous for cutting and bringing in. It is very thorny, so please do make sure that you debar, but you can see I've taken the tips off of the stems just there. So this is the Lady Gardener, and depending on the temperature and how much sun is about at the time, the colour will vary quite a lot. Everywhere from this lovely peachy apricot all the way through to a very, very, very pale cream if it's very, very warm. So this is my collection of David Austin roses which are best for cutting and bringing into the house. Please do go over to my Instagram or my YouTube channel and watch all the reviews for these particular roses. And if you have any questions, you know how to get hold of me. Feel free to like, comment and share.